Attention!
Attention!
Attention, buttholes!
Fuck you!
Fuck you.
Hello and welcome to What's Up Punk, where we take a look at the myriad of movements and people that wear punk as a badge of honor. Today we'll be taking a look at gutter punk. Forsake money, forsake society, because it's forsaking you, and live, travel as the wild things do.
Just going out and being wild, you know?
Being free.
Not raising hell, just
Being free.
having fun living your life, you know?
Full disclosure, more than usual, I'm going to be relying on the words of other media, the stories told by gutter punks that have made the doorways and abandoned squats their homes. By providence, I have zero experience being homeless, finding my own tribe in the digital wild west of the network, and at the end of a controller. To those that have lived this lifestyle, I say this: I couldn't do it. Be dead in a week, if I was lucky. You have my respect. Also, do not do this, unless you have no other choice. If you're a gutter punk, you're a gutter punk. But what is gutter punk? Okay, before we get into all that, we have to have a small conversation about terminology. So gutter punk is the pejorative term, also called crusties, crust punks, or crusty motherfuckers. And in some areas, oogles, I think. I have a British chum who was very adamant about that, but that's all I have to go on with. All meaning the same thing, hobo punks. From Canada to the French Quarter of New Orleans, from the Midwest to LA, they are rambling travelers that crisscross the states by jumping freight trains and hitchhiking. So a large network of nomadic Americans who have made a deliberate choice to live without addresses or incomes, outside capitalism, the workforce, the nuclear family, and most rules of social conduct. As a nomadic tribe, living in doorways or squats in blighted properties, many that will never be salvaged. Buskin', spangin'.
Spare a quarter for the soda, spare a dime, prevent a crime.
You got an extra cigarette? I'll be your best friend.
Dancing, some under table work for beer, drugs, tools, and supplies to fix, clean, and furnish these places. Or a punk show, known for being overly nihilistic, hedonistic.
Yeah, well, I don't have time for sanctimonious hedonists.
I don't have time for sanctimonious hedonists. That's what he said, man. That's beautiful. That's what I'm gonna call the new band.
And a blight on New Orleans.
Even though you didn't do anything, they still take you to jail for impersonating a human being or, you know, Bourbon Street, you know, public drunkenness, for Christ's sake.
It is a statement against capitalism. It's about squatters' rights, a place of community for those that have suffered from mental illness or abuse from their quote-unquote family. It's a tribe. Also a pretty misunderstood one. Yeah, it's a lot of doing drugs and drinking on the street corners with the tribe, but there's also writers, artists, musicians. Also, double standard.
You guys ever get hassled by the cops for being, public drunkenness or anything like that?
No.
What about walking down the street with, like a beer or anything?
Now, while most of all gutter punks spang, few boost. Not saying they ain't some bad apples, but everyone's got bad apples. But they ain't the blight they're made out to be. As always,
I knew punks. They were the nicest people in the world.
aesthetic. This aesthetic has a three-pronged meaning behind it: crusty tradition, hobo history, and a defense mechanism. I went to a punk show like a year or so ago, DOA, and of course them being the headliners, they had some acts to bring in before. One was a rockabilly looking dude who lost the crowd halfway through his set, because fucker didn't know what town he was in. He said, punk doesn't have to look rough. Now, context and disclosure, we had a pretty eclectic showing. From young bloods to senator punks to one gorgeous green-haired girl dancing the night away. That night I went to 3 sets, 3 different bands, so the memory ain't exactly great. But that moment was burned to my mind because even the chipper green-haired girl stopped and looked at this guy like he was a dumbass. I'm assuming this is the first time this happened to him, because he looked sheepish at us and said, or maybe I'm wrong, and then quickly went back to his set. The mindset, the look, the prototypical aesthetic is our history of punk, is hand-me-down. As much as it is sacred, it is also, pardon the wordplay, transitory. I believe that will remain constant for future punks. Change and that roughness. But here's the beautiful truth. As long as you stay true to yourself, you're a punk, in or out of uniform. Unless you're a gutter punk. Yeah, the intention is to look scary. I'm half joking, but from the 90s to the 2020s, a lot has changed, but the street's still the street. And you might be the sweetest cinnamon roll on the inside, but if you're sleeping in an abandoned building or bush apartment and you don't want something terrible to happen to you, better also look like you could stab someone for a pack of GPC. So basically, DIY clothing, torn clothes, held together with floss, safety pins, patches, spikes, and studs, all represented, along with the hawk.
Nice cut, bro.
In various colors and styles. Something I was surprised I don't see more often, tunnels full of random crap like accessories and hair. I dig it. It's all just extra crusty, dirtier, cause hey, no laundry, no money for laundry, no idea when my next bath is. As always, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's standard punk wear, so I think it looks great. Where did gutter punk start? Late 1980s to 1990s in Portland? Or Canada? Maybe New York? Okay, surprise no one, this one isn't well documented. It's the closest offshoot we have covered to just punk. Though crust punk, the music more associated with gutter punk, has a bit more of a metal bent to it. From what I've heard, I haven't looked into it, I'm not going to until the randomizer spits it out properly. Real life gutter punks. We gotta fix this thing, it just gets stuck in a routine. Yeah, it's the camera rolling. The street kids. Reggie, the now recommendations. The Decline of Western Civilization 3. Part 3 of a trilogy of documentaries. 1 was on punk, 2 was on metal, and 3 was on gutter punk. For someone like me who doesn't really like documentaries, I found it pretty interesting. It gives you a solid look at the gutter punk lifestyle in the 90s on the streets of LA. I can place the same with a lot of people that have watched it. It's a little strange if you watch the first 2. Some of Fierce questions don't sound like they were from an experienced documentarian, which Fierce is. Music takes up a very small portion of the documentary compared to the other 2. Then again, that's not the focus, but it's weird if you've watched the other 2 docs. Still, it's a good watch. I definitely recommend it. No Future. If you've spent some time in Night City, you've seen it plastered on the walls, or spent some time around your fellow punks. It's our adopted war cry from the Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen. Non-punks and punks sometimes take this out of context though. It's not no future, so why bother? It's no future, so fight for today. Eat for today. Live for today. Playing for the future is a fool's game because the system's rigged against you. Paste in some contrite saying about God laughing at plans. Or how Matlock put it. What everybody misses about the song is the line, no future. It means you've got to do something about it for yourself. I think it's a positive song. I think it's a really positive song. Gutter punk is the no future mentality taken to what I feel is a misconstrued end. It's not a wrong mentality, it's pretty freeing. In the end, it's up to the punk to decide what no future means to them. No future, so always take it to the edge, punk.
You fell over the edge, punk.
What happened to the gutter punks? Lifestyle didn't really make it through the 2010s. For some, they just wanted to put down roots. As a non-nomad, I can see the appeal of both living on the road and never being more than 10 minutes away from Minimart. The allure of knowing where your next meal is coming from and that the cops aren't going to bust up your squad is intoxicating. While they don't always live or feed from the streets, they stay punk in their hearts. Others realized they were just a bunch of kids who ran off so they didn't have to face the problems of growing up. All lost boys about it. Without being true believers in the lifestyle. AKA, you were just there for insert significant other here. That's youth for you. Others found a fight worth fighting for in the cesspool. Became presidents of skate and bike associations, raised a gang of rugrats that loved their daddy's 2000 skate punk music, and helped him dumpster dive and tag. Real story. Became writers, musicians, artists. Ironically enough, contractors. One punk started an artist commune, just continued doing what she was doing in the French Quarter, except with, paperwork. Fixed up a space and invited the tribe in. The rest lived and died in the gutter. Though I can't confirm this, it does sound like fentanyl did a lot of damage to the tribe. Test your stash, punks. How do I feel about gutter punk? Conflicted? Live how you want to live. I can see how a life on the street could be better than one with someone who's abusing you. But that might just be the romantic in me. On the other hand, if you're just there so the world will notice you, or you have any other options can work for you, bury your bag of human feces somewhere so it can be fertilized, go home, and then go fuck yourself, tourist. Well, this has been What's Up, Punks. Till next time, remember, take it away, Spinner.
We're the cockroaches, man. We're the ones who are gonna live through everything.
So when the world is over, when everything is ended, then there's only gonna be
Punks.
So keep on being a no good dirty punk. You know it, you love it, here's the spiel, let's do it. Hit subscribe to be my subscriber. Hit the bell so you know when I've actually posted stuff. Still no idea why those two things are separate now, but whatever. And of course, hit like to appease the algorithm gods. All fear and praise. On a list of whatever YouTubes, I am also probably not going to get any ad revenue for these videos, so if you would be so kind, check out that Patreon and the GoFundMe. Links in the description.